Welcome to Season 2 of Eyes and Teeth. This edition was recorded on Zoom, and since this, I've not recorded on Zoom. There are a few sound issues, so I do apologise for the ins and outs and the cuts, so if we lose a few words. That's Zoom for you. I'm learning my lessons, but I hope it doesn't spoil the enjoyment of the upcoming episode. Thank you. What we need in these times of entertainment is detainment, because all the entertainers have been detained. So I've created a word called entertainment. I'll say it again. What we need in these times of entertainment is uplifting chats. Today's first edition of Season 2 is a Halloween special, and there's no one better than today's guest to represent a spooky episode. He has an apartment full of dolls, not unlike myself, to be honest, but he has a CV of TV gold under his belt. Nickelodeon to Balls of Steel, Shoot, Ross Lee's Ghoulies, The Pranker, The Keith Lemon Sketch Show. He's a cross between Alice Cooper and Kenny Everett. Because he's a rocker, and in the art, music and comedy world, you all know his face. I love his voice. So in the next 45 minutes or so, enjoy my episode of Prankenstein with Ross Lee. Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Hello, Mr. Ross.
Steve!
Hello, sir. How are you? Do you know what? When I was a kid, Ross, I had Freddy Krueger posters on my wall. Don't burn your hair. Your hairspray. That's beautiful. I love that. I love the ambience of the candle. But I had a Freddy Krueger glove, and I had posters of Freddy on the wall. I loved Freddy Krueger. You're wearing a Freddy jumper.
Yeah.
Is that intentional, Freddy Krueger, or have you been in an accident?
There's a horror story behind this. I got kidnapped by an FHM model for 7 weeks. No word of a lie. She was 9 foot tall. But I ended up with a Krueger jumper, as you can see, and it's got these authentic rips. And I think she paid something like 90 quid for this, and it came with a shit glove. But this jumper, I mean, it's like it fits me so perfectly. Can you see it?
It's brilliant. It does fit you.
And I was mental on Freddy Krueger, like in a way that you shouldn't be. Were you like that? I had a poster from Fangoria magazine on my bed, and it was Freddy's Revenge, and it was like this.
Yeah, I don't know why I had that scary poster on my wall. I loved it when I was 13. Remember?
Yeah, I used to talk to the posters. I used to go, Freddy. I used to sellotape my mum's darts to my fingers, because my mum used to play darts. And I used to sellotape the darts at the end of my fingers. I used to put my sister's roller boots on, and I used to put my Freddy jumper on, which I used to wear to school under my school uniform to keep myself feeling safe as well. And I used to float down the road going, "You're all my children now." I was bonkers for Freddy Krueger.
Did you get on a yellow bus to school? You remember that in the Freddy movies when they were on the school bus?
Can you imagine? That'd be great. I love that yellow bus. Freddy's Revenge, where Jesse's at the back, hiding. He comes down. You know, my favourite things though, and it's a bit dark, but one of my favourite things is to watch Robert Englund doing sign-ins, you know, at these conventions.
Yeah, he still does them.
Apparently he's supposed to be a really nice bloke, and people go, "Oh, he's so lovely." But I've seen videos of him there going, "Who's it to? How do you spell that? How do you..." And I just, could you imagine being, like, living as Freddy Krueger? I don't know.
Wow.
See, that's it. These people, these actors like Robert Englund, they end up living in LA, and they're rich beyond the wildest dreams, but they're Freddy Krueger.
At the end of the day.
I'd quite happily live in LA, being, I played a character in a pop video called Can for Jesus, right? And I could name myself that. The audience told me that. And it's like, he's dumping Peter Saravanovich, you know?
Yes, yeah. Brilliant comedy mind, isn't he? He's
Brilliant. Well, he did this pop video, and this character's cult now. And I've just written to Adult Swim, because I'm trying to get somewhat away with Adult Swim, because I think I've got that sort of brave. And this is only like 2 hours ago. A friend of mine said, "Have you heard of, what did he say now? Bacon and Snake and Bacon?" And I was like, "No, what's that?" He goes, "You'll love it." And this is Robert Popper, who does Friday Night Dinner, right?
Okay.
And he was like, "I'm going to send you a book called Snake and Bacon." And I'm like, "All right," but I'll have a look on the internet and see what it is. And I've just had a look now, and it's an Adult Swim comedy show voiced by Peter Saravanovich.
No. I I had to say his name earlier, actually, and I'd written it down, and it was completely wrong the way I wrote it. But I thought, read what you see, and you'll get Serafenowitz correct. You know, it's not easy to say, is it? Peter's easier to say.
Yeah, Pete. It's very easy.
2 meter Peter. He's very tall.
2 meters. How's that going?
I've no idea. I don't know. You record records, so you know how long it takes for sales to come through. I'm not sure yet.
I do songs in my bedroom, but I'm not professional at all. Because I was saying to Kevin, I was going, should we release these tracks? And he says, I don't know. I think it's a movie soundtrack. He says, I could release it now. I could release this now, but I think we should hold on, wait. And I agree. I think wait. Steve. The only thing I'm an expert on is waking up and being me every day and then going to bed at night.
You are so creative, whether it's creating comedy or monsters or just putting on that jumper and living Freddy Krueger right now. I love that. I came across you when obviously was talking to Kevin Dean, and we met in the Water Rats pub. And I had seen your work before, and you have people laughing out loud because you push.
I don't know why.
You pushed the barrier of comedy and of pranks. When I first heard about you, I wanted to know more. My mate Kevin Dean told me about you, and then he showed me some clips, and I thought I'd seen these before. And you had me in stitches. And then you turned up to the pub, and I literally, I'm not just saying this because you're there, but I was in awe of your aura, your style of the way you were talking, your energy. You just had me in not in stitches. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing with you, because you've got a great mind, Ross. Where does your mind? Where does it come from? Who is Ross Lee? Can I ask you that?
First of all, can I just say, wow, that's just what an amazing thing to hear. That's lovely, because I'm not. I'll tell you who Ross Lee is. I'll tell you what Ross Lee is. When I was 11. I was in the not my living room, because I was only 11. I didn't own a living room when I was 11. It was my mum and dad's, and my mum and dad, God bless them, they're still here. The living room is still here, so I'm very, very lucky. But I remember being 11, and I think 3-2-1 was on the telly with Ted Rogers.
Yeah.
And I used to get really giddy, Steve, as they were answering questions in the open fire round at the beginning. Ted Rogers would go, "Okay, and here we go," and this noise would go. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember it?
What was that? Yeah.
And so the married couple had been going, is it Venezuela? Wrong. Next. And this noise. I suppose it was like a timer.
Like a countdown, like on Countdown. Yeah. Diddly 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 diddly. Yeah.
Or The Price is Right, when the little yodeler's going up the.
Yes. You remember the yodeler? Wow. Yeah.
First ever Price is Right. I remember the first ever Price is Right, watching it, and I remember that yodeler guy going up the side of the cliff, yodeler, and that's like, stop or carry on a bit. I thought, this is the best TV I've ever seen. Before Touch the Truck came along. But anyway, where was I? I was 11. I'm in my mum and dad's living room, right? And I could hear them. They weren't arguing, but they were talking grown-up stuff in the kitchen, like I don't know, bills, or you've not put the eggs on long enough, or whatever it is. And I was just thinking, I don't want to be an adult. I really don't want to grow up to be an adult. And I've got a bean bag that was on one of the armchairs that I used to sort of do a typical, like, somersault into.
Right.
And I made a pact with something that evening. Maybe it was Ted Rogers, because that was playing. I remember in the background.
It's still on.
And I went, I never want to grow up. Never, don't let it go. And I jumped into the beanbag. I did a somersault, but my brain froze me in space. And it's still there. I'm still frozen in space as an 11-year-old kid. And I remember saying to myself, when I'm successful and who I want to be and where I want to be, I'm going to land. I've still not landed yet. I'm still floating around.
Wow.
In space. And I missed that beanbag. I could actually fit inside it. And you see, the universe gave me exactly what I wanted, because my voice never really broke.
No.
Although I say that, I can go very high. I talk like my natural volume is like this. It's quite high pitched. But the new thing that I can do now, since I've hit 46, I can go really low. But I have to be careful not to set my hair on fire. This candle. So I can go low. So what I'm saying, Steve, is I can now go.
Your range. Yeah.
And that's who I am.
I like who you are. That's brilliant. And I hope one day, if you want to land, I hope you do land, because there's more to come, isn't there? There's a lot more to come with Ross Lee. That's brilliant. I hope you find your beanbag.
I sort of disappeared for 7 years, and I always wanted to disappear. I wanted to do a lot of work and then disappear. And I disappeared. I mean, it wasn't my. I was told to disappear, basically, because I was out of control, Steve.
Right.
I'll be honest. I got kids' TV presenter and Alice Cooper mixed up.
Right.
But when I turned up to the broom cupboard one day with my snake and my mascara, they went, what was going on? This is the children's BBC broom cupboard. This isn't Wembley Arena. Oh, what's that? It's dead. Don't worry about it. So,
Wow.
no, I will land. And though, as a kid, I was always about the comeback.
Yeah.
I was always about.
Right.
I was always a massive fan of these. My heroes are people that have hit the gutter and then get back up again. And I used to say when I was like 12, 13, I can't wait for my comeback. You go, well, don't you want to make it first? And I was like, I just want to come back.
Your first TV show, was it on Noel's House Party, the first spot that you had? Was you a weatherman?
Yes, so the first thing I ever did was, because I was making videos, right, when video cameras were invented.
Before YouTube, way before YouTube.
Way before, oh, right, so I was in my bedroom sitting, I could show you now, I've got tapes, and a tower of tapes, cassettes of me. Basically, I've captured my life since I was about 13. I've got everything.
Wow.
And I've taken this to some TV producers, and they go, I don't like home videos. I don't like it. What is this? You've been framed? But then I'll just basically put a tape in, and the jaws drop. And I must have 65,000 hours of stuff. Wow. But I know that I could just put a tape in. Like, I put one in the other day. I thought, I'll just put a tape in, see what's on, film it, put it on Facebook. That's what everybody's doing. And I put the tape in. And I'm getting to the point now where I can't remember stuff, which is great. So I'm now watching it as a spectator.
Wow.
And I'm in my bedroom, and I've got my sleeping bag, back to front, hanging upside down from my ceiling, so it's all on the red side. And I've got these little boxer shorts on, nothing else. And I've got what is it that you hang your coat on? Coat hanger.
Coat hanger. Yes.
And I'm cracking myself in the face with the coat hanger, and I keep hitting this buzzer as well that goes press. So I press this, and this elevator music plays, and I smack myself in the face with a, what's it called?
Coat hanger.
Coat hanger. So I'm going back myself in the face with a coat hanger. And I was watching it going, I don't know what this is, but it's just brilliant. I can't post it because people think I'm weird. That's something else that comes with age. You start to get self-awareness.
Yeah.
Never used to have any self-awareness, and I still haven't. You know, when it comes to the pranks, I have to forget who I am.
Okay.
You see, the great thing is I watch a lot of guru videos, and all these gurus are all saying, and I've known for a long time, that all I am, and I don't want to bring you down, Steve, but all you are, but there's a twist to it. It's got a happy ending. But all we are is jelly in a bowl of bone.
Yeah.
That's it. We're just
Wobbly jelly, yeah.
And we've got these limbs that sort of get, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to have myself a French fancy. The brain, the jelly in the bowl of bone goes French fancy, and we grab it. And that's all that we are. But when we're born, we hear what our mums and dads like, the songs that they like to listen to, and we hear their stories, and we see different scenery. So we're all born the same blank canvas, but we all have different paint thrown on us. So I'm liking this, Steve.
Wow.
So when it comes to pranking, I basically remember that I go back to my neutral state, which is the jelly in the bowl of bone, and I become whoever I want to be then.
Wow.
And because the Ross Lee, me sat here in Freddy Krueger, is just another. It's all. I fell out with somebody recently. This is the best way to describe this, Steve. I go all over. I do jump around, especially when I've had a can of Monster.
Jumping's good.
Can I just say that if I was still drinking sherry, you would have turned this off by now. It would have gone, you know, and then I would have disappeared for 7 years. And then I would have
Another 7.
A dog would have peed on my grave, and I'll come out in a ball of fire. But no, right, what was the thing? It's going to come back to me. We're all jelly in a bowl of bone.
You have to forget who you are when you're performing. You mean you have to, because you've got to be brave to do some of the stuff you've done as pranks. You have to be very brave to go ahead with it, you know. Because and
I'll tell you something else about prank stuff. I got a show called The Pranker Away, which was sold around the world, BBC worldwide. So I'm on in America and Iceland and all of these sorts of things, which I do think it's a bit unfair that I'm in a dustbin in West Hampstead, but hey, that's showbiz. But I've been told by my psychiatrist to A, learn how to say psychiatrist, psychia, and B, not be bitter anymore and to get on with it. So what I've done is I've been reborn recently, and but the pranks, I've always done pranks ever since I was a kid. Ever since I put the maggots in my cup of tea into my grandma's tea, I thought, I like this. I like the way I feel.
This works.
It makes me feel nice.
Oh, okay.
You put the sugar into the tea and the little plastic maggots came out. But when I got a show away called The Pranker, because I did Balls of Steel. I've done a lot of pranks. I did pranks in other people's shows for a long time. And then I got my own. But with The Pranker, a lot of the stunts were so elaborate that you'd only get one go at doing the stunt. And there's a lot of politics in TV, and they all fell out with me, and the people that made the show fell out with me, and fell out with the producer because we hired a tiger, and I'm not sure the ins and outs of why it was so bad. I think the tiger cost them like $9,000, but we had this tiger for about half an hour. I say we had it. I wasn't allowed to see it. Wouldn't let me near it. Not because they were scared of me hurting myself because I was the star of the show, just because I'm very mischievous, and I probably would have prodded in the eye with a wooden ruler. I did once get told off in the office, covering my mouth and popping it, because they told me off. And I remember thinking, I'm the star of the show. Why are they treating me like I'm a kid? I'll tell you why, Steve, because I asked the universe to make sure that I never grew up.
You asked for it, you're still stuck in the air, weren't you? You hadn't landed.
It just peels off. Oh, but I remembered what I was saying earlier. This is the thing with life, this is the thing with comedy, I think this is the thing with everything, and this is the thing with where we are. I fell out with somebody recently, and as we were arguing, I mean, it was a woman, and I didn't want to sound, I'm not Afghani, it was a lady. We were falling out. And then I just suddenly went, look, this is all, the play that we're in. She went, what play? And I went, this play. We wake up and we decide I feel like we're performing to something, but there's only me. At the end of the day, pull back the curtain, behind the curtain, at the back of the stage, I actually like you. And what I meant was, what is the rustling that is my soul, that is the Wi-Fi, that is the consciousness. Does that sound like Russell Brand? I don't know. Someone said to me recently, Russell's very brave, isn't he? I said, why? He said, well, he's like deserted all his fans to become like a Hare Krishna. I said, no, Charlie Manson. Anyway, so basically, I think we all play a part. And once you realise these things, and once you realise that you don't have to be Steve Hewlett, you can now blink and breathe in. But don't snort like that to your wife will think you're doing stuff. And you can just reborn yourself.
Yeah.
Reborn yourself.
Is that how you became reborn recently? Did you just breathe in and rebirth? Or is it more meditation? Meditation or?
I do meditation. But I invented it. Well, I didn't invent meditation. I think Gandhi invented meditation.
Yeah.
But
he's good at it.
I discovered when I was having I had a lot of trouble with booze because I used to drink a lot. My hero, Alice Cooper, I just used to copy. And when he goes, I used to wake up in the morning and I'd grab myself a can of Budweiser, so Jim Morrison wrote, I woke up this morning and I got myself a beer. That's about me. So I was like, all right, well, I had to do the same then. So when I did my first TV appearance, funnily enough, we're all connected, it's all synchronised. I sent a video in to Richard and Judy this morning, and it was a video of me as Richard and Judy. So I was dressed up as Judy, and I looked amazing, and I was dressed as Richard, and then I was dressed as me, and they were interviewing me, and I sent it in to them, and I don't know what I expected to get back from this, but I got a phone call from Fred Talbot, the weatherman, and he went, Ross, I've just got your video. I think you should come on audition. I think you should do the weather. I think it'd be great. I mean, we're seeing about 300 people, but I can certainly nudge me, see what I can do. I'm sure there's people listening now going, oh my God, where's this going? It doesn't go anywhere. Well, actually, it's quite a funny story. But the next thing, I'm on a train, I'm having a beer at Alice Cooper, and I went and I dressed as a tiger.
Oh, controversial.
Whoever created the cartoon, those old 3-minute Popeye cartoons, knew what they were doing. Because I've gone out with olive oil many times.
Yeah.
Olive oil. Popeye's like me, he's like little skinny, funny. Well, he's not skinny, is he, Popeye?
Well, he's skinny, but with big fat arms, isn't he?
Right, yeah, because he's eating big spinach. But then olive oil, I love you, Popeye. And then that guy would walk in with beard and she'd be off with him.
Yeah, dirty. Yeah, she was dirty.
Every single episode. So, yeah, that was my first experience with dustbins.
Wow.
And then I got my own TV show in the Midlands, and it was all like, the thing is, people gave me jobs that weren't right for me. And a lot of people at first thought I was a very clever, intellectual, sort of, like a male Paula Yates.
There's got to be some sort of intellect around your comedy mind, and I mean, coming up with the ideas that in the first place, I mean, you prove that as a kid when you've got like 1 or more thousand tapes or 60,000 hours of of routines and things you come up with, you know. So that's intellect. That's coming up with a comedy. Can you tell us about Rossley's Ghoulies?
Rossley's Ghoulies was an idea for a video that I had years ago. And I've got a video of me in the back garden going, what would Rossley's Ghoulies be? Well, Ghoulies would be an adventure through my mind. We'd have hidden camera hoaxes, we'd have songs, we'd have interviews with celebrities, we'd have special guests, and we'd have lots of crazy characters. And it came true. But unfortunately, I was doing shoot when Ghoulies appeared. And I was with a management company that were more in it for themselves than for the talent.
Right.
And they said, you're going to Nickelodeon. And I was like, all right, okay. And the boss at the time, we had this big meeting, and we're all in a place in Camden in, what's it called? Gilgamesh. Is it Gilgamesh? In Camden. The boss at the time, Children's BBC, said, Ross, we would like you to consider Blue Peter. And I'm going, Blue Peter? Oh my God, all right, yeah. Never saw that coming. Because I used to run around my garden naked, setting fire to flowers. You know, that was my sort of comedy. Now I'm being told I'm doing Blue Peter. So anyway, then agent said, he's not doing Blue Peter. In fact, he's not doing all for a while at some things. He wants Nickelodeon for a bit. And I didn't realise the importance and the sincerity, the seriousness of that. And they literally dropped all the cutlery, they dropped the knives and the forks. And then they took me outside and they went, you can't go to Nickelodeon. No one will see you. It's like, no, I'm going to Nickelodeon. So I went to Nickelodeon and no one saw me, apart from a few. And the thing is, and I guess this is where the word cult comes from.
Yeah.
Because the few that know it, recite it, you know, they know the lines and remind me of things that I've forgotten were in it. It was on every Saturday for 13 weeks. It was 2 hours long, so there was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of comedy goes to do tours around the universities. Is that something that you've looked into, about touring Rossley show with all these old TV shows in mind that the audiences remember, you know, and going into universities or, you know, sort of revamping it?
Funny you should say that, Steve, because what's happened is because of Facebook, because of the internet, I didn't realise that because I've got like there's about 5 different versions of me. There's the rock singer me, the Alice Cooper me. I'm doing some amazing music with our mutual friend Kevin Dean, and I can see a West End musical. I can just see it. I don't know whether Kevin's got this, but I'm like, that this is a musical.
Yeah.
So
it's the rock theme, isn't it? Yeah. With Cast Out, and you've got The Old Hag as well. I mean, they're brilliant songs. Brilliant.
Yes, because the Rocky Horror Show, that changed my life when I was a kid. And so I've got that side to me. And then, but I didn't realise that Shoot, that was on Children's BBC, and I should have realised, but that it was on a Friday night or Thursday at 5:30, BBC One, just before it all disappeared onto the internet.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased that I got in there, and but I had no idea how many people watched Shoot, and they're all 19, 20, 21 now, and I'll tell you that they drive me insane. These gorgeous 19-year-old women that keep now just messaging me, because in the olden days, I used to look forward to being famous, and I used to go, I'm going to put my feet up, have a cup of tea, and open my fan letters, it's going to be fantastic. That's gone now. It doesn't happen. It's Messenger. Yeah. And your fans go, oh, I think you're great. And you go, oh, thank you very much. And the next thing you go back on the next day and they go, why are you ignoring me? Why am I ignoring you?
Yeah, they want a full conversation. Yeah.
And for a fan, you're saying that you appreciate my work. That's lovely. And I've been nice and replied, now I'm ignoring you. And this goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'd say 90% of the people, of the fans on the internet, have put me off.
Really?
But the 10%, no, I'm kidding. The 10% are amazing. But no, yeah, so what I'm going to do is, because of Facebook, there's like Children's BBC exists on there, I didn't realise. And people have got a lot of fond memories from the Shoot show that I did.
Yeah.
And because I've got I had a song in each show as well. And the dream for me has always been, and I've always said this, pretty much ever since I jumped into the beanbag and said I don't want to grow up. I'm not going to be happy, not truly happy. I say that, I'm happy now. I am happy, Steve, I'm very happy. But there's a part of my jelly that won't be truly happy until I'm in a paper mache egg. And it's being lowered down from the O2 Arena ceiling, if this ever happens again. And and the hydraulic lift is bringing me down, and I can hear muffled, ladies and gentlemen, welcome all the way from planet and I'm on stage, obviously, but I can't see because I'm in the egg. But it's shaking now, and I can feel the dry ice. Steve, I'm getting excited. And the dry ice is coming to the egg, and I've got to burst out. Bang! Everybody loves my, everybody loves my, everybody loves my, everybody loves my, everybody loves my legs. Then there'll be a 2-hour show, and it's going to be brilliant. And I'm
Love
so
it.
pleased that I watched on YouTube the other day, because I've written a lot of songs, weird songs, and the people that are quite similar to me, and it's just by the way of the world, the Mighty Boosh. And I was never a massive Boosh. Never watched it, to be honest.
Really?
People always go, you're so much like Mighty Boosh. But like, they've got a song called Eels, and I've got a song called The Worm. And The Worm was actually in Shoot, and I'm surprised now, because I listen to it back now and I think it's outrageous. And it was on children's BBC.
Wow.
And but I would like to do these songs on stage. And the thing is, even like, if this doesn't come off until I'm 65, I've realised that I'd like to see me at 65 bursting out of an egg. I think the older that I look, the better it will be when I break out of that egg.
Yeah.
And
Doesn't stop the Rolling Stones, does it?
exactly. And I'm at home on stage more than anywhere. More than, like, doing telly's great.
Yeah.
And the other film I've done is great, but you do end up trapped with people, you know, doing telly, and you get trapped with people that go, so how did you get into comedy then? You go, well, I sent tapes into Richard and Judy, you know, when I was 8. And then 5 hours later they go, well, that's my mobile telephone number, and that's my show reel, and that's it, and that's it, and that's it. But, you know, you've got to love these people. But on the stage, you're alone.
Yeah.
As you'll know, but you're not alone. You're alone, but you're not alone. And if anything, there's a higher power that hits you when you're at that stage. I've noticed when I play pinball on my PS4, if I stop thinking and just start daydreaming, the next thing it's saying high score on the screen, and I'm like, but I won't even, and it's only when I'm not concentrating. And when you're on stage, it's the same thing, isn't it? You sort of get taken up, because I was thinking, I might sing Wet Eyes. I've got this doll called Wet Eyes, given to me by a dead friend before she died. And but I'll sing that to Steve, I like that. But I was like, hang on a minute, I haven't sang it for 3 years. I can't remember the words. But then the next, I just started singing it.
It was very touching. It was, seriously, it's a nice song. It's nice. You've got a lovely touch. You're very spiritual, aren't you? You find yourself spiritual?
I do find that I'm aware that this is a new thing. I remember being sat in the back of the car in 1999, and I was suddenly scared that I was going to fall out of myself. It was so weird, and I was just like, I'm gonna fall out of my mouth.
Not like an out of body experience. You literally thought you were going to fall out of your mouth. Is it?
I was going to float out of my mouth into the air, and I just suddenly realised that's what we are. Is we're the air. We are the air, but we're trapped in these bubbles of bodies.
Jelly.
Sometimes, Steve, because I didn't know I was going to say that, but in fact, I might even tweet that. We're all just jelly in balls of bone, trapped in bubbles of bodies.
So, what is balls of steel? Is that something completely different then? Bowls of jelly and bones, and balls of steel. Actually, if your balls were steel, you'd have more TV ideas than anyone. That's interesting.
Yeah. I've only got Maltesers.
Ross Lee as Elaine Page. I saw that today. I loved it. And you were just miming to her, but it was genius. How you come. Have you only done one of those? Because that's brilliant.
Oh, do you know, you've hit a sore spot there, because if I'd have, like, you know, at the beginning of the pandemic, the lockdown, if I'd have known, if I could travel back to myself in time and go, Ross, you've got 18 weeks now of you're not, like, literally 18, or however long it is, of not being disturbed, being encouraged to do nothing. Come on, do the funniest radio mime, and it's only just occurred to me because I was listening to someone on Six Music the other night, and I tripped over the words, and I was like, what a shame I'm not taking this. But yeah, the Elaine Page thing, I just used to listen to that again and again while I was washing up.
I was waiting for you to do the laugh. You know, her laugh, which is, yeah, it's a little, yeah, it's a crazy little laugh. But I was waiting for you to do that at the end, actually, but she never got to it, did she? It's a little cackle, isn't it? It's strange. It's very dirty. It's a dirty laugh, isn't it? One thing I saw, I really enjoyed watching Mr. Bum today as well. I had to watch all 3 episodes of Mr. Bum. One thing I never knew was that Elvis Presley looked like Tanita Tikaram. I love the idea of it. That is genius. And how do you come up with someone called Jealous Hendrix?
I've got no idea where the name's come from. I've got to plug you in. My phone's dying. Jealous Hendrix. Now, I've had people say to me about Mr. Bum. It put me off. I've got some people going, it's the funniest thing we've ever seen. Can you please make some more? Please, like it's the funniest thing ever. And there's another group of people that go, oh yeah, I like it. Yeah, it reminds me of Salad Fingers, which winds me up a little bit. There's always someone that's to compare to somebody else. Why compare? But then I've got other people going, Ross, Mr. Bum is seriously wrong, and there's something wrong with it, and there's something wrong with you, and I've had that, and I'm like, what? It's just a talking ass. What's wrong with you? I don't understand what you're talking about.
They're talking out of their ass, ironically.
Should I do a cartoon that's not a talking ass, just to stop the talking asses from saying, why is it a talking ass? But then I was like, no. Do you know what David Bowie? I've just watched a David Bowie interview. God love David Bowie. And he goes, never be out of your comfort zone. You've always got to... And I was like, well, Mr. Bum for me is like, hey, I don't know why I'm doing it. Because it's, it's very strange. And I was like, well, I'm sure David Bowie would be like, hey, man, keep doing Mr. Bum. Keep sticking with Mr. Bum. Because it's great. People don't know what it is. It's visual. That's the worst David Bowie impersonation ever, isn't it?
That was good. It was good.
I'm good. David Bowie! They'll be worried about when you're going with the next project. But yeah, thank you. But what I'm going to do with Mr. Bum, someone is trying to get Mr. Bum away at the moment in a TV show. So 1 minute in.
I just love that description. They're trying to get Mr. Bum away. I like that. That would be brilliant to see Mr. Bum skyrocket like that. It would be nice.
It would. It's the sort of thing that would happen to me because my life has always gone the way I wanted it to go, but by going that way rather than that way. And I can see me as an eccentric old man having all his neighbours really worried and going, it's not all right, I haven't seen him for 5 days. I think he's, oh no, he's there, look. And they'll see me and I'll be like, I'd have long white hair, but I'll be rich, Steve.
Yeah.
Rich. With this little talking ass. And people will go, why didn't I think of that? And I'll say, because I thought of it. And I remember going on to Google and typing in Mr. Bum, thinking, come on, sure, there's
no one's come up with Mr. Bum, yeah.
And there's not one. So I thought, right, I'll have that. And so I'm going to do more, but keep them like a minute long, and try and put some serious messages in there about, about life.
Yeah, people need it. People need it right now, don't they?
They do need it, yeah. And I've got a friend that's in the business, and they keep having to remind me to not be so morbid and dark, and to make people laugh more, because I've got it in me to make people run away and cry, and I enjoy that as much as making people laugh. You've got
the two sides then. That's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing, and I can't think of any comedian that can be genuinely terrifying.
Because I'm seeing that in your art. I mean, the dark side really is in your art is stunning. The pictures you paint. I don't know how. Is that just a blank canvas and you just draw what's in your head at that time? Are you thinking comedy?
Yeah. I never plan, and I never write. Like Mr. Bum, none of that is. I've not sat. There's no Mr. Bum script. I'm riffing it down the microphone. I'm cutting out bits that don't, lines that just sound funny. Like I think in the 3rd episode, I'd go, "Is Terry Wogan dead?" I thought, oh, what? What time? And to be said in such a way like, of course, you're talking about, is the Pope Catholic? That's it, is the Pope Catholic? Does a bear shit in the woods? I was like, is Terry Wogan dead? I thought, no, I'll have that. Yeah. But, so it's that sort of thing. And with my drawings, with my art, every time I put a successfully finished picture up on the Instagram, it's always started off as just a doodle, and I've got no intention of drawing. And then that's when they come out. But if I go, I'm going to do a drawing now, sit here, I'm going to do a great drawing. It's going to be of an action man with his head smashed against the wall with real human brains coming out. It just won't, I can't do it. But if I just start, like literally, I mean, people at home won't be able to see this, but this is a sketchbook. And this is the latest. You see, there's a lot of unfinished things that I go back to. But that doodle, that just became a...
They really are. I mean, the subject is scary, but that's like a ventriloquist dummy, that hit. I like that. They're stunning pieces of work. Is this something that you sell to magazines, or...?
It might be my internet. It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me.
Continuity.
Because it's funny what you were saying earlier, like you said when I walked in, you said you were a bit gobsmacked. Because I have that effect on people, but it's like, I never know if it's because they've recognised me off something, or whether they're concerned that I'm a dying man, because I'm very thin. Don't know, but it's a lovely pub with a lovely venue, and I hope me and Kevin get to get up on that stage and blast you all away.
Hey, you should play Cast Out there. You should play The Old Hag. We'd come to that gig. That'd be a nice launch of the album, wouldn't it? That's where a lot of people launch their albums.
You're brilliant. I mean, The Old Hag. I can see myself laid on a white sheet on the stage with wet eyes above me, and it'll be fantastic.
Immobilized by the blackest eyes looking over me, something's got me stapled to the springs. There's no safe word with this odd bird. Even when her nails start to sting, I've got an old hag squashing me tight. When she crosses her legs on me every night, I told the doctor get it off my chest, and he just said she's in my head 'cause I'm depressed. Rest, Ross, rest, you're depressed, 'cause there's an old hag on my chest. She turns up late to suffocate. She sucks my breath and then dines out on me. I told the doctor get her off my chest, and he just said she's in my head 'cause I'm probably stressed. Ross, you're stressed, 'cause there's an old hag on my chest. I pray to the Lord that she don't talk with tongues, as she destroys another perfect set of lungs. Analysis says paralysis is what this is, but in this case that just simply isn't true. She turns up late to suffocate, and one of these nights she'll leave me swelling blue. I've got an old hag squashing me tight. When she crosses her legs on me every night, I told the doctor get her off my chest, and he just said she's in my head.
Do you know
It
that
will happen.
it will happen? Do you know the first one, Cast Out? You use a lot of puppets, a lot of your scary puppets like Chucky and all that in the video. Is that right? Are they dolls? More dolls that you use?
Yeah, they're none of my dolls. They're automata, they're called on the video for Cast Out. I just tried to find some weird images that I could put over, because my plan was to do like a pop video, like a proper pop video. So out of nowhere, I found this 30-minute documentary all about automaton puppets, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, well, that goes with that line, then that goes with that line, there's that. I'm like, hang on a minute, this is heaven sent. There's that line, and I've just put it together, and it's beautiful, weird, beautiful video. But I do possess a lot of dolls here. Yeah, I've got quite a few. I mean, that is my favourite. That's my favourite.
There it is. She's happy.
When I hit her, she looks so. Can you see her?
Yes.
It's just the way she takes the smack. It's just beautiful.
Her head stays there.
I did a gig with her. Me and Wet Eyes got really good at one point. We had a proper little, like, 30-minute show. And I took it to Ian Lee, who had a radio show.
Till recently, yeah. I don't know him. I know who you mean.
I got up and I did Wet Eyes, and it's so funny. It's like, as a kid, I always wanted to be Alice Cooper, and then when it's actually happening around you, you don't realise it. Because I was at that night, I'm thinking no one was laughing or clapping. Why was nobody laughing or clapping? But I'd just been beating the shit out of Wet Eyes. Right? I looked over at Ian Lee and I went, that's it. And he just went, I don't know how come you're still alive, was his reaction to that. I thought, that's a strange, what a strong reaction. What, you think my act's going to get me killed? Oh, all right. And then I suddenly thought, Alice Cooper, that's how he started. He used to play and people would leave going, it's too frightening, we don't like it. And then he had to calm his act down.
Really? Wow. That's how it starts? Oh, that's brilliant. Ross, can you tell me your favourite joke? Do you have a favourite joke?
Yeah, one of mine, actually. What do you call Max Bygraves walking through a cemetery? Max Bygraves.
I'm glad I asked. I've never heard that. I should have seen it coming. It's brilliant. Oh, thanks for that. That's made my day, that joke.
I've got one joke, it's really long, that goes, basically it goes, oh, you know, there's a lot of horror in the world, you know, I've seen some terror, I've seen some terrible things out there, Steve. I've seen, you know, bird shooting, bullfighting, you know, alligator spearing, dolphin disemboweling, ladybird popping, chinchilla trampling, pigeon wings ripping, butterfly tearing, antlers off, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Done that, but probably wouldn't have had time.
I would have waited till the end. I love it. That's brilliant. I mean, comedy is they call it all un-PC now, don't they? And it's being banned left, right, and centre. Where's the world of comedy going, do you think? I mean, what you do is brilliant, but people are scared now to do shocking comedy or to actually air it, you know. So will it come back? What is it? Why can't we laugh anymore?
Do you know, I think if we would go back in time a little bit, we probably were here in the 70s. Probably, like lots of comedians in the 70s probably had the same sort of problems that we have now, because everything's a wheel. Everything I've observed goes round, goes round, goes round. So you know, terrifying, shocking comedy will be back. But the reason why it's on a seesaw, is because it's outrageous, terrifying comedy. And it needs to have that element of this might not work for it to work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, I will just continue to be Ross Lee and see what happens. Because what I've realised is that if I was to get hit by a truck tonight and that's it, do you know what? I've done it, and I've said many times out loud, we've made it. I'm not rich, but I got my dreams, very much so. Well, I get kids going, I wouldn't be an emo if it wasn't for you. And I go, that's ridiculous, because it's what they should be saying is, I wouldn't be an emo if it wasn't for David Bowie or if it wasn't for Alice Cooper. But they're saying me, and I just find that's nice. Amazing. I mean, it goes straight into my head, that. But the fact that people say I influenced them that much that's, to me, that's it. That's success, and I can leave the planet now. And someone did say to me, I've got a friend who's also a comedian who does a lot better than I do. and someone said to him, someone said, would you do the Crystal Maze? Would you host the Crystal Maze? Which is a gig I've always wanted.
That'd be ideal. Yeah.
Because I did get popcorn. And then I went, what's the game? How long will it take to get Ross's corpse out of a coffin? Because that was the dream gig, is the Crystal Maze for me.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the dark recesses of the world, somebody right now is putting together a horror game show for me. And if they're not, what are they doing? Sat here playing with dolls?
Well, I hope the horror game show is ready. I think we need a horror game show. I've never seen one. Crystal Maze is probably the closest that we've got to it. But I'd love to see that. And I'd love to see you land back on your cushion, on the bean bag. You know, I want to see you land, come out of space. I love the drawings, the paintings that you're doing as well. Truly incredible. So
you're going to get one.
They are brilliant. Just truly, it must take hours, days, hours.
Sometimes it takes no time at all.
Really?
And other times it can take a while. But you see, again, the drawings are. Once I'm like singing and jumping up and down, I forget I can draw. And my brain goes, right, concentrate on being a rock star, forget about being Salvador Dali. But then the next thing, it only takes one knock where someone goes, well, I don't find him very funny. And I go, well, do you know, maybe they're right. Maybe I will be Salvador Dali after all. And then I'm drawing again. But then I'm singing and writing again. And then I'm drawing again. And it's the Ross Lee world.
Well, you say there's like six of you. There is, the comedy Ross, the rock Ross, the Salvador Ross.
Yeah.
There's so much talent to you in different parts. And the Freddy Krueger Ross.
then there's the who else is there? I'm a big Pee Wee Herman fan.
He was great, wasn't he, Pee Wee?
Oh, he still is. Did you see the last one that he did? They made a new Pee Wee movie. Pee Wee's Big Holiday, I think it was called.
I think I saw that in the 90s. Was that the last one? Or more recently?
It did Pee Wee's Big Adventure, which was like the main movie that he did.
Did you do a circus or something?
Yeah, and then which was awful. But then they made one about 3 years ago, Pee Wee's Big Holiday. And he did it with Judd Apatow. And honestly, it's as good a Big Adventure. It is brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Really good.
I put some of the TV shows on for my kids a couple of months ago. And he's out of his mind, wasn't he? It was brilliant comedy. It was just, and for kids as well. It was great TV. Well, in
the grand scheme of things, and we literally might be like Earth and the Milky Way might be on like a huge, massive, giant space baby's eye, and it's like we're just there in the baby's eye, and we might be being watched, and someone's watching and listening to us all the time, like literally under a space microscope. Or there's lots of things around us that we can't see, like spirits and things. People turn off at spirits, but I think we're surrounded all the time by people watching and listening, but we just can't see them because they're on the next vibrational frequency.
That's true.
So
yeah, we don't know where we are, how small we are.
And I think we're here forever. I think we'll go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever on a round and round and round and round.
Really?
And so we've got nothing to fear.
No.
Nothing to fear. All you need is love, laughter, shelter, sleep, food, wee poo, money and records.
And wet eyes, apparently. Thanks for your time. Thanks so much, Ross.
Loads of love, and I will. I'll give you a ring soon and we'll catch up, buddy. Bye.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Eyes and Teeth. Thanks so much to Ross Lee. He can entertain me for days. And he does sometimes on the phone. But thanks to vocals by Nina, Lola and Larissa Hewlett and Rich T. All music jingles, including The Old Hag and Cast Out in this episode, were produced and performed by Kevin Dean and vocals by Ross Lee. Catch Ross Lee on Facebook under the name of Ross Lee. On Twitter, Ross Lee Bonebag. Today's comedy quote comes from Peter Serafenowitz. I'm still angry at my parents for not buying me expensive rollerblades. Cheapskates. I believe this is Peter talking about Emo Phillips. Once, I listened to so much emo, I had to be taken away in an ambulance. Get it? The next edition of Talking Comedy is a man who has seen and reviewed it all. It's Gary Bushell.